Whenever you're ready.
My name is Jack Schipper, S-H-I-P-P-E-R, born January 5th, 1916 in Częstochowa, Polen. Częstochowa war die Straße Mostowa 13. And our profession was baker. And we built up a very fancy new bakery over there in Mostowa 13. They was so nice, as the German was very pleased, as this was one of the nicest bakery what we can have. And till 1939, we was working, the whole family, in the bakery. I special stopped the school when this was in the 6th grade because of sickness with my father, and I got to go and work very, very hard, 18 hours, 20 hours, afternoon.
What kind of work did you do?
Bakery. In the bakery inside, producing anything what everybody was able to produce. I was very talented, and beside this, I look always, to make more modern and reorganize bakeries, to get more production better. Years ago, we had just one oven, and not long before the war, we put off this one oven, another oven, but they saved a lot of money, and they saved a lot of work and a lot of time. I was a creator to make better, faster, nicer, and I was very, very, to say, and not just in the baker business, and in the metal business, and in the mechanic business, like to build up. Was over there when we was making matzahs of holiday. There was a system in our town, as the 8 days before Passover, bakeries stopped baking hummus, like we know, and we was baking just matzahs. Our matzahs was the famous in the city, and there was about 10% more expensive, thinner, nicer, with a very, very high qualification. This made the baker profession, the 8 days of matzahs, accumulate more profit, what this was later, got to produce again the baker business. Because this was very, very, very small, community. You got to have, more like we need. The bakeries, the same in different profession, and the Jewish business like butchers, and the other Artikeln von täglichen Gebrauch. My education comes later. Afternoon, we have a Fachschule in Częstochowa, very, very good organized. And people, kids like me, was not able to go to a regular school from 4 o'clock till 8, 9 o'clock in the night, every day. in my work. This is terrific in this age. As when I finished the school, I went to sleep for 3 hours. After 3 hours, I get up and go in the bakery work. It's in the same building, and the building was just a family building. And I get up at 12 o'clock in the night and start again to work till 12 in the daytime. And this goes around and around. I didn't have not 5 minutes time for my private life, just Saturday and Sunday most. Sunday is a difference. This in Poland was not allowed to do nothing and to hire people Sundays. But myself, the owner, got the right to produce or not to sell. And for not to sell, we got to watch, because if not, we got reports and paying off for the legal and not legal to be, able to sell the produce what we make it. This was the time from my youth. Later, we got to bake matzahs once a week, and we got to make, like to say, the time going by and make $1 more to have to cover the expensive. And I was going around. From this day, we make one bake of matzahs, was 100 pounds. And I go around to the grocery stores, and we pack this quarter pound, half pound, and pound. And in this way, this was going to our private pocket. This was this is what we can afford to have if you want to do. And we change, from over there. We have also a special produce machine of the Jewish, farfu Jewish. We did this in a big machine because my wife's brother was an engineer. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And the produce of farfu was very succeed, and we produced this. And my sister in our home, in our house, she got a Kolonial Geschäft. What this was till 7 o'clock, all produce from groceries. After 7 to be open, you got to change and decorate and make like a Delikatessengeschäft. Delikatessen von soda, cigarettes, and so far in fruit. This was going in a different category where you got able to open till 10 o'clock at night. So this life was going on, just working and doing what is possible to hold, our family together in our home.
Can we back up a little bit and tell me a little more about your family? Your siblings, your brothers, sisters, or
yes,
and your father?
my family was everybody living in our house. The house was not too big, but enough comfortable if you wanted to keep the family together. When my sister was married, my parents gave her back one room what they was using to have, the system with us. When the other sister was married, we break the front and we gave her to make a Kolonial in a grocery. My brother was married, we divided the kitchen and make name the wedding room, Yeah. And this was the German comes. In 1939,
back again, did you have extended family? Was your mother's family or your father's family, did they live in the same town with you?
In the same house.
In the same house?
In the same house. The whole family was living in one building. In one building, the whole family. My father, my mother, there was a very family. And any kid that was married, they knocked off in her need to give away for the kid. So one daughter, one sister to me, was the first one, the older like me, before I think I was born. Up, you know, a grocery and a deli in the same building, the next door to our door. We have also the bakery in the front, was a little office store that was selling the goods from baking. Our bakery was very high qualified and very high, you know, needy, say, to the right purpose for human, being, not artificial, was everything exactly what they need, for the body to have healthy food for soul.
That's good. Did you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but did your family belong to a temple or synagogue in your town?
This I came right now. In our neighborhood was most Jewish owners from the houses. 99% was Jewish. The Jewish over there, I can measure, from two different corners, intersections. They go together, and one from the owners get the land from a garden, but was going to the river Varta. The name was Varta, what is water, and they built over there a shul. The shul was for the neighborhoods and for the owners that they live in this neighborhood. My father was the Grinde and the organizer, and like in Jewish, this the Gabon from the shul. And another name, Altman, what he was over there, the native Finland, and from the place was a very bad. For woman was upstairs built, and for the man was downstairs. Was very, very touchy, and really Jewish. What I mean, excuse me, Jewish, because every Saturday we got Shabbat, after the day of Shabbat. They brought special, I don't know, and here is the name Picha, and Baas was Gale, the name, Picha, and they got over there a barrel with beer, and make Avdula, and they make the Jewish things what belongs to a religion family.
As you grew up, did you notice was there any anti-Semitism?
Now it goes back to this. Our neighborhood, for, I can say, about 15,000, 20,000 people, because Chenstokhov got in his life from 30 to 35,000. This was about 30% Jew, of 130,000, 120-something Catholics. Chenstokhov was a real, very historic Catholic city. The Holy Madonna, the Holy Matka Boska, got a castle in Chenstokhov, and this was very, very honored by the Catholic people. After the take down from field, the whole fruit, the whole wheat, the whole other one what was growing, everybody was coming for blessing. And the hundreds of thousands of pilgrims coming barefoot, because they didn't have for shoes, and was too expensive to wear shoes hundreds miles from one end from Poland, and we was in the other end in Poland. So this was the holiest time. Years ago, my father was going in, but the castle over there was a very big place, like I don't know what to say, an open field, like a flea market, and he baked bread, and this was the living. They took with a big basket and sailed over there to the people from the villages was coming and staying with the horse and wagon for a week, for 2 weeks. And they was believing that there is special Catholics believe angels from the Holy Madonna, as they come blind and go home saying. They go without crutches home and comes with crutches. This was not just of them. I got my experience in the time in the war when we was already liberated. I got an apartment after a Jewish doctor, and somebody took off, a Catholic. How I know he was the boss from the apartment, and I went over there to pay rent. When I came over there, a old woman said in Polish language, "You don't understand. You got to be blessed that you here, go and converted of Catholicism, and you will be good, you will be not blind and not sick never, and that's it," and so far. There was this very hard and very strong believing by the Catholics. And we was in this time, in these years, very good relationship with the Catholic people, because this was beginning in 1900 till now, till the 20s, maybe till the 20s. Later, when there comes over there, the high schools, Lyceum. Lyceum is high a little bit like the college here, and over there was just allowed to go for Catholics. There was just changing in the Andek, this is like here the whitehead of the Kreuz, what's the name, the skinhead. There was just start to be very anti-Semite. So anti-Semite as I...
Do you remember what year that was when you noticed anti-Semitism?
In the 20s. And in the 30s, there was going systematic more and more. So far as the Jewish kids, what they was able to have enough, funds to go for study of high educators, of doctors, of lawyers. They were out from Poland to Belgium, to French, where over there was more democratic and more this. By the way, I want to mention, I have the older brothers when I was very, very young. He was a freedom fighter, and you can say in this time, what the Polish say, that he was in the Communist Party. Every Jew in life got to go through to be or a socialist, or a Zionist, or a communist. It cannot be nothing. Nothing doesn't exist. And what happened, I remember, I don't know from where, as my father took, this is borrow of my house money, $10,000 zlotys, and this is it's equivalent of today, millions maybe. And he lost because the party what he was belonging, they get out from jail, was not a jail, there was just a arrest. I was with my nyanya, by hand, and we took food to him over there, and he was just like in a prevention jail, not a jail. Jail, they didn't exist till the late 30s. They built a big jail in Częstochowa. And when he was out, when over there, released of Polish is Kaucja, like here is, the name no.
Who arrested him? Was it the Polish police?
Polish.
Or the German?
No, German was not the war in this time. This was in 1927, 28.
This was before the occupation.
You got to put over there down, security so much, to release them from jail. He will be not escape when will be the process and the sentence, to be what is guilty and not guilty. And he disappeared right away through Germany in this time to French. In French, to get asylum was very easy, but French was more democratic and more socialistic in the oath when it was the revolution in French.
Yeah.
You know what, there is a big picture in the movie where I saw, like the kids, when the more socialistic, uprising French was, and over there became French, the most in Europe socialistic, upright. And the whole thing, when somebody disappeared, politic for whatever, in French he became legal, and he got a right to live, and he got asylum,
Okay.
Is the asylum right?
Asylum.
Yes. So in this way, until he built over there a family, he got 2 kids, and very, very, very nice, and he was performing not just a baker, he was also a tailor, special tailor for women clothes.
Can you tell me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you tell me a little bit about the rest of your family? What was happening to the rest of your family?
I didn't listen.
What was happening with the rest of your family, your mother?
No, this I come to this, this is much more details and much more this.
Okay.
This was in the 1928-7 when my brother disappeared, and there was from time to time writing to us, to the parents, to my mom, to my father. This was till 1939. 1939, all of a sudden, 3 blocks from our this, I see, planes, and they took bombs 3 blocks away from our house, was falling bombs. Because Częstochowa was about 17 kilometers from the German border. We was on the border from Germany. You make 70 miles, you can go over there. It was very easy to go over the border, not legal.
What was the closest large town to your town?
After us?
Yes.
After us over there was villages. Blachownia, Olsztyn. This is villages. And the villages was, going on the border from Germany. And when the Jewish people was able to go on vacation for, like here, and whatever over there, go to Florida, Vincenzo.
Okay.
To go over there to difference, very expensive. No. The Jewish people, what was working a whole year, they went to the village, and the rent of the villager moved to a neighbor or moved to a friend, and they get away, his house, and the Jewish for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. But this I remember my father, I was very, very young, and I went over there, and this was in the edge from the forest. The edge from the forest, and the old little houses, we was over there, being for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, no more, was no more money to cover, the expenses. In 1939, when they comes and there were the bombs, we see how the terrible is coming. They come right away to every home, to every house. 2 days later, they put all around, or the army, I can say. You was not able to go 1 foot in the city, and they picked up all men, old and young. My father was in this time about 67 till 70 years old. Everybody got to go out from home onto the guns, and they put them.
Jewish people only?
Oh, everybody. No Jew, Catholic, everybody. And they put the people, you know, in churches, in public big places, in cathedrals, and in synagogues. And they make right away a massacre possible of a few thousand people. They put them in the open field where the people got to go in, and the big, you know, complex to put together machine guns behind, and there was shouting. Who fell, fell. Who is dead, dead. When I was going in with my father, and my brother was holding my hand, I was enough strong, and we go in, he said, watch it, here is one dead. Watch, here is blood from somebody killed. How many was killed in this time? No. We didn't know we will go out alive, and it was impossible to think about it. 2 days he was over there without water, without food, without nothing. And later they put us over there. There was in Częstochow 2 different type of Polish army, what they was saying. There was the 27, the infantry, and there was over there the 7 PAL. This was with the big cannon of the horses was schlepping. No machines like here, choke tanks. This doesn't exist in this time, Paul. And after 2 days again, they let us go and go out home. Home and Heil Hitler. Jew, not Jew, Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler. And this way they put us to go home. We went home. We got to think how we got to make our new life. No life, no nothing, just miserable and just scared. And everybody can be shot any minute, any time. When a German, and the German was so built up of hate as a dog or a rat or whatever was more valuable like a Jewish person. There was in this German bitterness one of millions individuals who had a different feeling and a different thinking what a human being is supposed to be. And they come to us because we have a very open house and very nice, and they start to talk with tears in the eyes. This is when the moment comes over there to go away forever, in the wagons from the cattle to Treblinka, to Majdanek, to Auschwitz. One of the German come in the evening and said to us in quietness, with tears in the eyes, what you can do to save your family. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, we can continue.
5 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow morning, there will be the light on in the city because there was blackout. And the whole light when there was on, everybody was thrown out from bed, from home. Kids, not kids, pregnant women, old women, young women. And the whole city got to go 30, 5 till 40,000 people to the station special. They make, side rails to go over there together with the regular, but the railroad was moving, and they moved straight to the death camps, to the death camps, to the gas chambers.
Did you know? I'm
Yeah,
gonna take.
I'll silence it.
Excuse me for a minute. Okay, we can continue. Did you know at that time, or did the people know that were being loaded on the trains? Did you know about the death camps?
Yes.
Concentration camps. Were you aware of
Boys.
some of these camps?
First of all, we got tips from different cities as they put people, Jewish, in big cars and big buses and put inside over there the oxygen from the gas, from the accelerator straight inside, and the poison. We was aware of this. About how long you don't feel of your own body, you don't believe it, that this can be possible by human being. Later we was listening over there as there is a Majdanek, there is a Treblinka, there is, Auschwitz was just in building type, nothing. So anyway, we was aware about this, and I says as catastrophe we cannot do. Youngsters, I was not will to leave my parents with this, because I was the strongest in home and the more organizer and the more aware what can be and can met, because one time, when they was looking for me, they put me in just for work, just for not necessary. The field was just sumps, bagna. And over there, what bagna will be? Slum. And I got to drain out the field. This was January, and they put me in over there because the Jewish committee was responsible to give so much and so much youngsters from this and this age. If no, God forbid, they put them in jail. They're not in jail, in work. And I was over there sent. This was about maybe 20 miles away, Psherov. Psherov was the town where we was over there, sent youngsters, a few hundred. And when I come over there, they put me in the slums, till here. And this was ice, this was cold, this was, so no food, no sleeping, no nothing. Just the Jewish community was living in the little town. They got to help the people, the youngsters, and I was sleeping in a bakery of concrete, just of concrete. This was my soft, mattress, and I was feeling in the night as the leg fall out from me. There was like a knife cut here, and I have the circulation from blood here. There was blocked. There was the sick, phlebitis, and I got till now very, very. This is how long is from 1939 till now. The same sickness, and it's very hard. I supposed to have a doctor, a professor, said, Jack, I will be because they got to open up the artery, make wider, or the blood got to go back to the hearts and pump it. We was not lucky because something happens as over there, Iranis Rani's friends, parents was, but there was architects, and the kids know, and we, the parents, my parents not know. And she invited us, and she came with a new car, and we want to go out over there just for a bite for this. When we go for a bite, I drunk some Polak guy.
I think he can move on. He wants to know more about your experience during the war and what happened after the Germans came. What happened in Poland?
I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
What happened with that German who came? He tried to warn you.
What happened? He walked away. This German was really working by the Hauptmann in the city, the officer what is responsible for the whole city from the army. The name was Degenhardt. He was the biggest bandit and the biggest sadist, to see to blood, just Jewish blood. And in this way, he went away, and that's it. And we didn't see him no more because he was a German. He got to make his job over there where he was, attached to these officers. And this was not one, but the short way I got to cut off. I'm still alive here today. After tens going after me to kill me, the two officers was responsible for the ghetto. The smallest ghetto was just a few hundred people, and he was not able. I was lucky he didn't shoot me. He got any second, any minute, ready with the gun to give me a bullet in my head. They took out my brother from the bakery, what he was before, sent him away to Treblinka, and he disappeared through the little opening in the cattle cars, out with the underwear. He was jumping out from the railroad and coming by foot through villages and through this back to us. He was thinking, this is the right place.
What time of the year was that when he jumped
This
out?
was always in the time from the little ghetto before the liquidation completely. There was ghetto, smaller, till our building was in the edge of the ghetto. Here was the wires, and on this side was our building. And for this we got baking for the people what there was, and working in a factory, Hassak, Belzere, what they make over the bullets, and covered from different production of this. And we was baking bread for them. And was coming every day and pick up the bread. This was the only way where I was survived.
That helped you survive. That helped you survive.
Excuse me?
That helped you survive by making the bread?
By working. By working, making the bread, sure.
Did you ride on the cattle train, on the train? Were you on the train?
No. I was lucky I was not. Every time when I saw what is a danger, how I went, I don't know. But I was looking for youngsters to send away. Our friends, there was about 5, 6 brothers, my friend, took him out from our house and sent him to factories from Bullet, Trottel, Kaskarzysk, and they never come back. One friend, but maybe a year ago, he died out at Gebrowicz, was the only one from a dozen kids coming back, but they put him over there. One was sick of typhus, one was from Trottel, the powder for the bullet going in the body. So anyway, nobody was alive from this. I was still always in the bakery working.
You always stayed in your hometown.
Hometown,
You stayed in your hometown until you were liberated?
yes. Liberating is, I come a minute more to this. I was a baker. And in the end, we didn't have no more Jewish bakery. And beside the concentration camps, there was no Jewish outside. There was just Catholic, and the Jew was inside to suffer to the end his life in the concentration camp.
I got a question for you, and that is, were some of your neighbors, some of your Catholic neighbors, did any of them help to save some of the Jews? They could see that the Germans were taking the Jews away.
Do you mean now?
I want to know about the reaction of some of your Catholic neighbors that you lived with.
There was not knowing for nobody if something the Catholics, if they want to risk his life, because the life for them was the same thing for anything was suspicious that he hide some Jew or some Jewish kids or whatever will be dead with the whole family. There was no difference. Some of, I don't know how percentage, they took our Jewish kids and put in cloister, put in church, in monasterium, and they make them for a Catholic. And later there was very hard when there was, after the war, to get back the kids. The Jewish organization was fighting very hard to get back. But us in the city was a few kids like this.
So what happened with the rest of your family? I mean, you stayed in your hometown.
Yeah,
You stayed in your hometown. And
I will be right away explain. My parents, in the end, I put them in the attic, and there was a backyard. In the backyard, the German every minute was coming, listen and asking. In German language, is somebody coming here and hiding? Because if they come from hiding, I'm responsible to tell them. If no, I will be shot. And all of a sudden, a mother with her kids comes and she said she wasn't hiding, and we was just temporary out. They said to me, is somebody coming from hiding? I said, no, we got to somebody. In this moment, behind the door, from a room, the mother with the kids was staying. When just, he will be know a wind blowing through. I will be dead right away. This is 100%.
close call.
Yes. What I do, I said nobody, and I was enough. I cannot understand now how cold I was and how not putting a tear in my eyes to show them as I hide something or I have afraid for something, because God forbid if this will be a catastrophe before. So my parents and aunt and my sisters and parents was also over there hiding in attic, and I almost was liquidated till my person supposed to go also away. Where? I don't know. What I got to do with them? And I have no choice. So in Częstochow was a mikveh. You know what a mikveh is?
Yes.
Yeah, right away, you know. And we will put us, everybody, out from homes, no more home, no more where to be near if he was. And you got to go over there to sleep and work from over there. The last work for us was to go and pick up from the houses what was left from the old people, what they were sent away to the death camps. And over there, you know, it's finished. You finish the work, you got to go back. So we got to go over there to sleep. And the next day in the morning, the day hard, the big bandit comes and said everybody got to go out in the street. And they make a segregation. Over there was still the Jewish police. They make Jewish police, if you know, and the Jewish police was working for them everything. They didn't put the German things what they wanted. Give me 10 people, give me 20 people, give me this people, give me this people, and they went everything to the cemetery and they put them in the caves, dead. So what happened? Over there was the police, there was doctors, there was lawyers, there was with kids, the big profession, what they make for them clothing. And they put them in the side and they said, bring out the whole valises with everything and you go right away to the camp for work. And this was a lie, was not true. And they leave this and we was over there staying too. In my position, every day they was looking to kill me. What I was out, I don't know. Or this was intuition, or this was just a moment. I cannot answer the question. And I was alive. I was preparing a hole by the oven in the need to go not far. There was maybe 20 feet to the street to make a hole in case something happens. And he catch me by this. The biggest bandit, but the same, you know, what I was killing people like mouse. And he said, in German language. In German, with the accent, I can make them feeling as I know. And they like very much when you know the language, you this. Was machst du hier? Also, I don't machen. Da haben doch gesagt, als the government got to prepare to make food. When the Krieg comes, you got to have, you know, what to fressen. And he took this for good. But what he did, he said to me, you stay here, and I go and ask. My brother-in-law was also with me, and with the daughter, Hella. And they said, I go in over there in the room, in the apartment, and ask him. And he goes in, and you stay here. And he said right away to me, if this is not true, you go in Himmellage. You know what Himmellage? You make you dead. And I got to be cool like ice, cool like numb. And he goes away and goes in over there in the apartment. And I see 5 minutes, 10 minutes, he didn't show up to kill me. It's good. So I go out from the bakery, and across was the window from his room. And I said to her, he said, and also in Germany, du hast Glück. Da hat dasselbe gesagt, was du hast gesagt. So I was all right. And he went away. He went away, and what I got to do now, they take me from this. My brother, not my brother's different story. My brother-in-law with the daughter and me and everybody cannot more be in the ghetto. I got to go over there to the mikveh, sleeping over there. How sleeping? On the floor. Wherever is place, wherever you sit down, you sleep. And the next day in the morning, they took out over there and they said, the valises put here down, you go over this group goes to the camp working. And this was the lie. They sent everybody to the cemetery, and the valises, what they was out, when they was away, they said, put this back inside. They never sent because the people, everybody goes to that. What they want me to shut and look for me was always I was 1 foot ahead of him. How? I don't know. I cannot answer the question for nothing how I am alive, because every minute, every second I was in that moment, for this or for this or for this. And what happened, as I see he was going with him together, and he take nothing but the ear. I said, it's a very bad sign. It was maybe about 50, 60 people. Very bad sign. And one happened, they put me to death. I find out later as they put me in the line for death because he was not able to kill me, and he has a moment now, and this goes more people. I didn't know from this. I feel, and I got to have the brain, what can be. So, Schlosser.
Did the Jewish people...
Excuse me?
I understand what you're saying. Did the Jewish people have to wear stars, yellow stars, to identification? Did they? No stars. No yellow stars.
The moment when identification was when was the big ghetto, when they got over there the Bandit mit der Magen David. This was identification. On the back of it, the Jude, this was identification. No identification in paper, nothing. Doesn't exist a document. Doesn't exist for Jude, a document is dead, that's it. So what happened?
What languages did you speak?
Bob, he was talking about
Schlosser. So what did Schlosser do when you were in the laundry?
This I want. Schlosser, there was an Oberwachmeister, maybe in the toilets, maybe below the toilets. How he do, what he do. I don't believe in angels. I don't believe in miracles. And he said to me like this, Bäckermeister, ich muss doch weiß Brot haben, ich muss doch Kuchen haben. I need white bread because the German was not allowed to eat white bread. They was not allowed in the time in the war, whatever there was, to eat, you know, luxury. Cake and white bread is luxury. And ich muss das ja haben. And come raus and take me like this out from this line and stay in this line, and this was safe. And I went out over there later and work. And not just this. This guy, what they want to shot me, I was looking of them in every eye. Because in the time when my brother was disappeared from Wagen, from that camp, back home, with just gray underwear, like real pants, through fields and to swamps and to I don't know how, and stays over there by an oven, and he was thinking he is safe, and another gentleman comes in the bakery and said to him, you know, come on out. He took him out, and 2 seconds later he was dead in the backyard. And I have still hiding the parents with the whole family in the attic. What I supposed to do? I was numb. I was no tears, I was no afraid, I was nothing. Next day in the morning, we was already living in the together over there in the mikveh. We went over there because kettles, felt kettles, was cooking coffee for us, people that were still alive. For how long. And I put them over there because our friend was with a horse and wagon going for the coffee, and I go till 2 blocks before our house. I jumped down and I became a German. In 1 minute I became a German. Open, was young, strong, hair long, and start to hollow, you know, take down the parents from the attic, take down over there 2 women more, and I stay in the street. Master Guy, alle best, you the fluchte, because but maybe 10 feet away was the wires, you know, what make the border. And over there before the wires, what are over there German with the guns pointing in inside. And when they didn't listen, this mine warning, they shot everybody, not just me.
The border you're talking about is the border of the ghetto?
Of the ghetto, the little ghetto. And I met big, energy. Come over there. Over there hiding all us parents from people what there was in the Jewish police, or there was with the German. And there was over there a bunker in an attic, straight with a blunt wall. Straight with a blunt wall, and it's like here, and I went over there, took a table, on the table a chair, and I step in the table, step in the chair, and take my parents, with pressure, put them in out over there, and somebody picked them up a hand, and there was now in a new bunker. And I was thinking that maybe over there, time-wise, they will be safe. The German, this was unbelievable how they got, I don't know, tips from Jews or tips from Intercom. As in some places, it's danger what the Jehovah did, what there was freedom fighter against the German.